Aftermath of the Second Punic War. Chapter 1. Between Wars, a Fragile Peace.
Rome's ascendancy and Carthage's decline.
The end of the Second Punic War in 21 BCE marked a decisive shift in the balance of power within the Mediterranean world. Rome emerged victorious, solidifying its dominance over Carthage and laying the foundation for its imperial expansion. The war had been long and brutal, inflicting heavy casualties and economic strain on both sides. However, the terms of the peace treaty imposed on Carthage were particularly severe, ensuring that Carthage would never again challenge Rome's supremacy. Carthage was forced to relinquish its overseas territories, reduce its navy to a mere 10 ships, and pay a large indemnity over 50 years. These measures crippled Carthage's economic and military capabilities, relegating it to a secondary power status. In contrast, Rome capitalized on its victory to extend its influence across the Mediterranean. The Roman Republic's military prowess, administrative efficiency, and strategic alliances enabled it to consolidate power rapidly. The annexation of former Carthaginian territories in Spain and the islands of Corsica and Sardinia provided Rome with valuable resources and strategic positions. Moreover, Rome's victory over Carthage bolstered its prestige among other Mediterranean states, facilitating the expansion of its hegemony. The interwar period also saw significant internal developments within Rome. The influx of wealth from conquered territories and war indemnities contributed to Rome's economic prosperity. This period witnessed the growth of the Roman middle class and the increasing prominence of the equestrian order, a social class of wealthy individuals who played crucial roles in commerce and finance. However, this prosperity also exacerbated social inequalities and tensions between the patrician elite and the plebeian masses. Culturally, the influence of Hellenistic Greece became more pronounced in Roman society during this time. Roman elites embraced Greek art, philosophy, and literature, integrating them into their own cultural framework. This cultural synthesis enriched Roman intellectual and artistic life, setting the stage for the later achievements of the Roman Empire.
Economic and social consequences.
The aftermath of the Second Punic War had profound economic and social consequences for both Rome and Carthage. For Rome, the war resulted in significant territorial expansions and an influx of wealth, transforming its economy and society in ways that would shape its future trajectory. The acquisition of Carthaginian territories in Spain, along with control over Sardinia and Corsica, provided Rome with valuable resources, including silver mines, agricultural lands, and trade routes. This newfound wealth enabled Rome to finance further military campaigns and public works, fostering economic growth and urban development. However, the war also exacerbated social inequalities and led to significant demographic shifts. Many Roman soldiers returned home to find their farms in disrepair, having been neglected or destroyed during their prolonged absence. This displacement forced many small farmers to sell their land to wealthy patricians and equestrians, leading to the growth of large estates known as latifundia. These estates were often worked by slaves captured during the war, resulting in an increase in the use of slave labor and further widening the gap between the rich and the poor. The concentration of land in the hands of a few wealthy individuals also contributed to the decline of the traditional Roman peasant class, which had been the backbone of the Republic's military. As small farmers were pushed off their land, many migrated to Rome and other urban centers in search of work, swelling the ranks of the urban poor. This influx strained the city's resources and created new social tensions, as the growing population of disenfranchised citizens demanded political and economic reforms. The economic disparity between the wealthy elite and the poor masses also gave rise to political instability. The Senate, dominated by the aristocracy, was increasingly seen as out of touch with the needs of the common people. This perception fueled social unrest and set the stage for a series of political conflicts and reforms aimed at addressing the grievances of the lower classes. Figures like the Gracchi brothers would later emerge, advocating for land reforms and other measures to redistribute wealth and alleviate social tensions. In Carthage, the consequences of the war were even more devastating. The severe terms of the peace treaty imposed by Rome crippled Carthage's economy. The loss of its overseas territories and the heavy indemnity payments left Carthage economically weakened and politically unstable. The reduction of its navy and military forces made it vulnerable to external threats and internal strife. The once thriving commercial empire was reduced to a shadow of its former self, struggling to recover from the war's ravages. Despite these challenges, Carthage managed to rebuild its economy to some extent through trade and commerce. However, the memory of the war and the humiliation inflicted by Rome lingered, fostering a deep-seated resentment that would eventually contribute to the outbreak of the Third Punic War. The economic and social consequences of the Second Punic War thus laid the groundwork for further conflicts and transformations in both Rome and Carthage, shaping the course of their histories in profound ways.
Chapter 2. Diplomatic tensions and preparations for conflict.
Political maneuvering and treaties.
The period following the Second Punic War was marked by intense political maneuvering and the formation of strategic treaties that shaped the geopolitical landscape of the Mediterranean. Rome, having emerged as the dominant power, sought to consolidate its influence and prevent any resurgence of Carthaginian power. This was achieved through a combination of diplomacy, strategic alliances, and the imposition of punitive treaties on its adversaries. The Treaty of Zama, signed in 21 BCE, effectively ended the Second Punic War and imposed harsh terms on Carthage. Under the treaty, Carthage was forced to cede its territories in Spain to Rome, surrender its fleet, and pay a massive war indemnity. Additionally, Carthage was prohibited from waging war without Roman consent, significantly limiting its military and political autonomy. These terms ensured that Carthage could no longer pose a threat to Roman interests in the region. Rome also sought to secure its dominance through a series of alliances and treaties with other states. In the aftermath of the war, Rome formed alliances with several Greek city-states, leveraging its newfound power to influence the political dynamics of the Hellenistic world. The Roman Republic's support for these states was often framed as protection against Macedonian aggression, positioning Rome as a guarantor of stability and peace in the region. These alliances were formalized through treaties that outlined mutual defense obligations and secured Rome's strategic interests. One significant alliance was with the Kingdom of Numidia, located to the west of Carthage. The Numidian king, Massinissa, had supported Rome during the Second Punic War, and in return, Rome backed his territorial ambitions. The Treaty of Zama granted Massinissa significant lands at Carthage's expense, bolstering Numidia as a regional power and a loyal Roman ally. This alliance served as a buffer against any potential Carthaginian resurgence and further isolated Carthage politically and militarily. Rome's political maneuvering extended to the eastern Mediterranean as well. The Seleucid Empire, under King Antiochus III, posed a significant challenge to Roman interests. Antiochus sought to expand his influence in Greece and Asia Minor, leading to conflicts with Roman allies. In response, Rome engaged in a series of diplomatic efforts and military campaigns to counter Seleucid ambitions. The resulting Treaty of Apamea in 88 BCE forced Antiochus to abandon his claims in Asia Minor, reduce his navy, and pay a substantial indemnity, thereby curtailing Seleucid power and cementing Roman influence in the region. The formation of these treaties and alliances was not without internal political ramifications for Rome. The expansion of Roman power and the influx of wealth and territories led to debates within the Senate about the Republic's future direction. Factions emerged, with some advocating for continued expansion and others calling for consolidation and internal reform. These debates highlighted the growing complexities of Roman politics and foreshadowed the internal conflicts that would later challenge the stability of the Republic. The period of political maneuvering and treaties following the Second Punic War set the stage for Rome's transformation from a regional power to a burgeoning empire. The strategic alliances and punitive treaties not only secured Roman dominance, but also created a network of dependencies that would underpin Rome's imperial ambitions. This era of diplomatic and political activity was crucial in shaping the trajectory of the Roman Republic and the broader Mediterranean world.
Carthage's revival and Rome's suspicion.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content like this. Hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload new videos so you never miss out. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more exciting videos.
The voices in this recording were created with the assistance of OpenAI.